Hello, this is Vance, and this is Wednesday, September 13th, 2013. These are the CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. Got a demonstration trade on here. Just put it on. The reason I did this is right after the DOE report, and price has kind of been in this range. Now, after the report came out, it's 15 minutes ago. Price spiked up, came back down, rotating over, and I think we're going to head to the other side of this channel. Now, I think it's really a larger range than that. I think it's about here. I think that if you look at it, even if it's on a low range, it's right at this area. It's just my first target is right here, and but I'm looking that maybe it'll extend a little bit higher up there. But we'll have to wait and see. And so that's why I've got it right here. It's kind of let me just put this in the proper configuration. You can see it's always dotted or dashed, I mean. As far as the range is concerned. So just for a visual cue, and as you can see, I got in here. It's really the price came down here. Well, let me just make it bigger. Let's do it that way. Easier to see. From here, first entry pulls back. This is a larger second entry, but again, price comes down here the first time, second time, and instead of it had a couple of chances to go down, didn't complete, didn't have follow through, and it's bounced. And so as a result, oops, let me get this box in here. Let me show you where the box should be. Right here. Now at this point, this is kind of the lowest point in this set of bars. So it's 51. So you can move this to 49, like a couple ticks below the lowest bar. I mean, even at this level right here, 54. So if you even say, 52 from this one. If price migrates down here, I'll consider it to be a not really have to reevaluate at that time. But as I've said in the past many times, I looked at my entry, looked at my stop below here, looked at my target, and decided whether the risk-reward ratio was worth taking this trade. And that's why I put that trade on. And gonna wait and see how it transpires. Let it go. Okay, things stretched up. We had over 10 ticks. Move this to break even. Let her go. Now we've got our risk off is in this trade, but I usually like to use that term typically, risk off completely, because it isn't. Because remember, if price got up to 74, 75, and we had sold out at that price, then this drawdown here, even though we haven't booked this trade, those are funds that we would have received had we sold this out. So even though this would be a no cost trade except for the commissions, at a break even point, we're still we're giving back this. Our actual risk is at still at wherever the high point of this particular trade was before it comes back and takes you out at our entry point, wherever our stop is. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. We'll let this go. Okay, the first contract's off. Finally got there. Looking for the second target at 92. And I've got this right here now. There's no real natural pullback point at this point. You can see that it's got to break through. It's got to hold and turn over and continue up. We might have a little bit of pullback here at this area, considering that this was a pretty big sell-off area to the left. I'll show this to you. Had this resistance right up here. And so, this drive down. Can move this up a bit. A few ticks. Don't want to trail it too deeply. Seems like a natural area right here. Like there's a couple of pullbacks. See this big gap, this strong bar down here as it got above this area, and you see that there's resistance in here. This back and forth is really. If you look on a larger time frame, you'll see that these are just like bars are side by side, so it's almost like a tight range on a larger time frame. If you were to take this in consideration, I mean that range running from about 15 ticks. If I move this up here, roughly 15 ticks range. And so as a result, an entry here has got to break through to move to this this area at my second target, 48.92. And if you look at it and I've mentioned this in the past. You see, this is like a 30 from here, say from the low, and from here is like a 30 tick rotation right here, 15 and 15. So I'm satisfied with this entry. It's pretty close. I mean, ultimately, you'd like to be down here and, be very close to taking your second contract, but it's not always possible. I mean, it's hardly ever possible. You try to, this is, as you can see that this is, I think if you look at it now that this is kind of developed, you can see this area here is really like an area of resistance or support. Okay, number 2 contract's out. Let's move this up to a natural area and looking to see, maybe we'll extend to above 49. Well, there can be resistance at $49 even, but that's usually the case. So you can see that it appears that its price is breaking through this area right here. I don't know what accounts for that. As you are probably aware now, the economic report was out. The Department of Energy report came out. There was a build of 5.6 million barrels of oil, but there was a big drawdown in gasoline likely because of the shutdown because of the weather-related issues in the southern United States. So as a result, gasoline drew down 8.3 million barrels, as well as distillates were down as well, which are diesel fuel and that kind of thing, aviation fuel, that kind of stuff, petroleum, various petroleum products. Now, what that means is that even though there's a drawdown of 5.6 million barrels, there's also notification out of the Middle East that the reduction in production is really taking hold, which kind of spiked prices in Europe a bit. So from there, even though we had a pretty decent run up over yesterday, it looks like prices are perhaps even moving higher based on that information, especially when we came down to tested this area on the chart. Now, that's just speculation. It's just daily, like trying to align trades based on the most recent information. Whether or not that was actually the case or this is what's driven the market or not, those are just geopolitical observations, let's put it, from on my behalf. However, using that type of information is somewhat helpful to put on a trade. And so that's what it is. So anyways, we're ahead right now. Right here we're trailing, let's say about 10 ticks from this upper level here. And you'll see that right here is probably be some resistance, when you look, wrong one. Resistance here, this is anything that above this area, you have like safety stops up here probably, and that's what maybe this was resistance that we're facing right here is because of these safety stops at the upper edge, upper level. But of course that was just before the DOE report. Here's the report here at 10:30 right here, and price drove down, rotated down, and now it's bouncing on its way back up. See if it hits our target at 40.07. The government pledged in Ontario $86 million to clean up the mercury. That's it. But as far as everything else is concerned, none of the people really get. There's no medical care, really. There's no water. There's no fresh drinking water on that reserve. Okay, price kind of touched 49.07, hit my target, and that's pretty much it. So, oops, this is a little kind of crooked. So we'll see how prices react here. It might turn back down in this direction. If I just mark this, you can say that this was, I don't know if you could establish this as a trend, just a rotation on a wide range, I suppose, more than anything else. But of course, from the bottom to here is like 45 ticks, roughly 50 tick rotation, 50 cents. Whether or not how price reacts around the resistance again, $49 right around this area. You're seeing resistance right in this area. What's this stupid thing? Sorry about that. You see resistance in this area right here. Whether or not price is going to find a purchase or coming head down, maybe retest this area or perhaps this area. That remains to be seen. So you see, watch the price action stacks up here, and then decide at that point in time whether it makes sense from a price action standpoint to go short or to maybe go to higher prices. But we're getting close to noon, 11:30 now. Likely it'll slow down a bit, so something to keep in mind. Anyway, this is Vance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.